is the Run Your Day podcast with Dan Hafner.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Run Your Day podcast. As always, your host, Dan Hafner here. Today's topic is this: when the shit hits the fan. As always, I appreciate you all joining. Sit back, relax, and enjoy today's episode. All right, my friends. So I'm back. I know it's been a little while since we did an episode, but there's a good reason for that. Not that I'm making excuses, but the past couple of months have been, pretty much the title of this episode, when the shit hits the fan. So, long story short, so I'm going to try to tell you kind of what happened before I kind of get into the moral of today's story, right? So, back in, November or December of 2020 here, I got back into a business that I had recently, or that I had put down during 2020, which was a small and basically code-free or low-code mobile app building company. It's called Dapper Mobile Apps. Maybe you've heard me mention it here on before. If not, now you have. But basically, it's kind of a spinoff of what I did with not only this podcast, but with my app Runwage. I just basically got pretty good at building very code-free, very simple, very easy to use, but also fairly complex mobile apps. So I decided to make a business out of it and do it for other businesses. So I basically got several clients on, started doing things in December. We were rocking and rolling in January, and more and more clients were coming on. It was taking off. It was doing really, really well. And then the unthinkable happened. Like literally the unthinkable. Woke up one day in the middle of February and got an email from the provider, the data hoster I was using at the time. And they were like, hey, so there was this fire in France and all of our servers are down and all of the apps might be down in your client apps. But we're working on getting it back up. And I was like, okay. Some of you guys might have noticed this. If you try to use the Run Your Day app on the iPhone or Android, it won't work. It still doesn't work. I haven't gotten it back up yet because I was kind of preoccupied with my other clients, but I'm getting there. So basically, long story short, that was down for like 2 weeks. And then they came back and they said, yeah, everything was destroyed. You're not getting anything back. Like, you're not getting anything back. And it was funny because when I started that business, when I started back up, I kind of thought through like, the business plan and the business continuity plans and like the worst case scenario, best case scenario, right? And that was my worst case scenario. It was like, well, somehow, somewhere along the line, this technology that I don't technically build because I'm using a hosting company has a catastrophic thing. And that's literally what happened. Like, that's exactly what happened. Like, it was like almost like I manifested it to happen. Like, it was unbelievable, right? Now, testament to, I guess, myself and my clients that I brought on, I didn't lose one single client through that whole transition. And I thank you if you're listening to this show. Like, man, like there was so many reasons for people to just be like, all right, Dan, well, sorry, man, we're going to move on to somebody else. But no, not a single person left. So I was very, very grateful for that because what I was able to do was basically go to a different provider, get things back up and going again, and really get those apps that were lost rebuilt. Other than my app, the Run Your Day podcast app, because I figured, I owe it to my clients more than I owe it to myself for that reason, right? So, man, that was a shitty couple of weeks, man. Let me tell you what, that sucked. Like, that's like having a car wash business and then your car wash business burns to the ground, right? Like you have no other ways to get customers or make money or even fulfill on the things that you had already got. Like, it was just like, oh my God, like I almost cried like every day. It was terrible. It was terrible. Right. But man, I learned a few valuable lessons from that. And that was one of them. Was like, if you're authentic and you're very real with your customers and you tell them the truth and you're transparent with them, they will be understanding. Like, they will understand, they will work with you. I even had a couple of them that were like cheering me on, like, hey, we know you can do this, we know you can fix this, we believe in you, right? And that was really, really cool. That was really touching and heartwarming to see that. um and then I also learned that even when the shit hits the fan, like even when the worst case scenario presents itself to you, it's not over. Like, it's not over until you truly decide to give up. Like, I could have very well just given up. I could have easily just been like, well, that's a sign. I guess I'm just gonna pack my bags and shut that business down and take my lumps and move on with life, right? But I didn't. Like, I didn't give up, right? So that was the other very important lesson I learned, is like, even when the shit hits the fan and things just do not look like you should continue, or like you think it's all over, the fat lady's singing, like it's just game over at that point. It's not, as long as you're still in the fight, as long as you're alive and you're breathing and you're there and you're like, you know what? No, we're going to fix this. Like, yeah, you might not have any money. You might not have any support. You might not have any vision for how you're going to get out of it, like whatever the situation is. But if you're there, if you're able, if you're willing to think and you're willing to take some time and figure it out, you can figure it out. Like, you can figure it out and it will work out, because of that. Like, because you're just like, okay, like this is just another roadblock. It's just another obstacle to overcome. This is just another thing, right? It's just a thing. Just a thing. It's crazy because ever since then, like, things have taken off again. Even though it did cause quite a hiccup in the process of that business. Um, but things have picked up, and it's even hard to talk about because I was like, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I didn't know what I was gonna do, and I hung in there. I hung in there. So anyway, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my show for today. Like, honestly, I was gonna build to something else, but there's not much else to say after that. Like, be authentic, be who you are, tell people the freaking truth, and people will respect you. Because if I had gone on and lied to them, or I had manipulated them, or I had tried to pull the wool over their eyes and act like it was okay, like, I would have lost clients. I would have lost business. I'd have probably got sued. I probably would have, like, there would have been even like a way worse problem that I would have created for myself. Right. But because I decided to have integrity, because I decided to be authentic, because I decided to tell the truth, it worked out. And it wasn't easy in the moment. It was not easy. Like, it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. I literally just brought on these clients who paid me good money to do this for them. And then all of a sudden now, like, it was like, and it was out of my control. That was the worst part. Like, it was in France. I've never been to France in my life. You know what I mean? Um, So even when shit hits the fan and it's out of your control, and people are blaming you, or they're like frustrated with you or upset with you, or like whatever's going on, you got to hang in there. You got to tell the truth. You got to do the next right thing. I know Brendan Burchard always talks about that. What's the next right thing to do? And that's all you worry about. Like, that's just all you worry about, one step at a time. What's the next best thing? What's the next right thing? The next right action that I can take? You don't worry about all the different things you got to do, because you're going to get overwhelmed and anxious and stressed and pissed, and you're just not going to want to do any of it. You're just going to want to throw your hands in the air and give up. But if you just focus on the next right thing, it'd be all right. So that's my question and my challenge for you guys in this episode. Is there a situation in your life, or is there a time in your past, or something that you're going through right now, where it's just like, you know what, I just want to give up, throw my hands in the air, screw it, this is not working? And I just want you to think of that. Like, what is the next right / best thing that you can do right now in this moment? Like, what is the next action that is right and best to do for that given situation that you're in, whether it's a relationship, a career, a business, whatever it might be, because there is an action, there is something, and it might not be obvious. It might not be obvious, but it might be obvious. But what is the next right thing for you to do? And my mission for you is just go do it. Just do it. Whether it sucks or whether it's not fun or whether it is fun or whatever it is, just go do it. Because that little action is gonna go a long way for you. It's gonna help you. It's gonna help you mature. It's gonna help you figure it out and help you feel better about the situation that you're in. I promise you, it will. Okay. All right, my friends. So that is all I have for you. I might as well give you a little more information on that. Like I had mentioned, that is a business that is called Dapper Mobile Apps. You can check it out at dappermobileapps.com. We do just very simple yet very complex and sleek mobile app design and building and launching for small businesses. So if that's something you guys are looking for, shameless plug of my own business on my own podcast, go check it out, dappermobileapps.com. All right, my friends, that is all I have for you today. As always, I appreciate you all joining. Go do the next right thing. Have a good rest of your day. Dan Hafner signing off. See you next time. Hey, have you ever thought about joining a virtual run challenge? As the world continues to be stuck in lockdowns and social distancing, and as many of us continue to work from home, finding fresh ways to challenge yourself physically can be difficult. It can also be difficult to connect with others and find accountability partners for the purpose of fitness as well. So what can you do? Introducing RunWage, the running motivation app. RunWage virtual challenges are a new and exciting way to stay physically active, maintain social distancing, and stimulate your mind and body. Every challenge within the app takes place 100% online, and you can compete against and engage with people in your own backyard or from all over the world. Best of all, these challenges are designed to actually reward the winners with real cash. Yes, that's right, real cash. So if you've been looking for a fresh and interesting way to stay active and healthier, go to runwageapp.com or download the RunWage mobile app today to join the diverse group of runners already competing there and winning. That's runwageapp.com. Can't wait to see you there.